lately about the fact that we don't talk enough. I communicate with you primarily through some wicked cool soundscapes. But no, seriously, it's often so abstract around my channel, and I would like to bring a more human element to things. So, I need more excuses to work on my whispering, the quality of my speech. And, I often go too fast, and I don't think that I don't think I've properly developed the sort of enunciation that I most value in close-up whispering. But I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna get some practice here, and to ensure that that happens, my soundscapes are going to I'm going to be changing the kind of the approach that I take to them for the foreseeable future. And that means that we're going to be focusing a lot more on mental health stuff, just conversational stuff in general, and I'll still be adding plenty of abstract sounds in, but I'm going to be shifting my focus from the kind of extreme triggering of ASMR that I think has its place on my channel, but not to the complete exclusion of kind of a more traditional blend of sounds and triggers that I think all of us, I can at least speak for myself, I'm far more attuned to achieving ASMR through a more familiar set of triggers. And what I would like to do is to build on those things, kind of use them as like a connecting point between the familiar and the unfamiliar. So things will still be somewhat abstract in future soundscapes, but you can expect more of the sort of thing that I did in my massage, ear-to-ear, unintelligible, whispered soundscape. Kind of fewer, maybe a lower diversity of different sounds, but more of a focus on gently shifting versions of a few sounds. Does that make sense? So, I guess like a more gradual flow. I think it'll be interesting. Anyway, also, I am building a new computer that I'm going to be kind of running in parallel with my main computer here in the studio where I produce my ASMR videos. And the purpose more visual effects work, as well as some of the more processor-intensive audio work that I plan to do in the future, all in service of I'm extraordinarily passionate about ASMR, and I want to always be searching for ways to elicit the ASMR response in increasingly, I guess, I don't want to say abstract because that's just part of it. It doesn't necessarily need to be abstract, but I guess increasingly, let's call it unique ways. So, I'm really excited about the future of the channel, and I really appreciate you guys tolerating some of my crazier experiments, and I just want you to know that it's always in service of kind of breaking the mold, I guess, while still retaining I love that every time I record a video, without fail, there is a loud train. I apologize. Anyway, as I was saying, I want to retain that sort of the adventurousness while still kind of having one foot in the traditional. So that's going to be my goal going forward. Okay, let's move on to the next part of this video. I'm a very cluttered person in my life. I mean, literally, I just have tons of random stuff laying around. And I do occasionally clean. It's not unheard of, but I thought to myself today, I can't pump out those soundscapes like every 3 days. It's not possible. And because they just take so many hours of work and editing and all that stuff, to get to the point where I'm happy with them. But I want to have some more ASMR inducing content uploaded on a somewhat regular basis, and I need to be able to do that even when I'm kind of tired, like I am today. So I thought, let's combine the power of my cluttered environment with my desire to provide more content throughout the week, and we could do some more kind of traditional videos where I attempt to trigger you with stuff that is laying around. I'm gonna switch the camera around a little bit here, and we're gonna just talk about some of the random garbage in my environment. It's gonna be great. Just give me a second. Alright. You may see me wearing my earbuds once in a while throughout this video, and that's just to make sure that these sounds are coming through properly. So, my first random object is this coffee cup up. Did I just say coffee cup up? I meant coffee cup. Why am I talking to you about a coffee cup? Besides the fact that I love the ASMR inducing sounds of environment destroying styrofoam. Coffee is, for better or for worse, an integral part of my everyday life. And I would argue that I would be remiss if I didn't mention this old ratty coffee cup that's sitting in my studio. When I'm sitting here making these videos, there's rarely a time when I'm not chugging some coffee. I am trying to be better about my caffeine intake. I'm not gonna lie, my success has been varied at best with this whole quitting caffeine project. You may have heard me talk about it in my mental health videos, because it stands to reason. If you're the sort of person who is susceptible to anxiety, you probably don't want to be hopped up on uppers all day like some kind of junkie. I am a junkie. This is the face of a junkie. And this is my drug of choice. I love getting high on some coffee. Every time I get a comment on one of my soundscapes saying something to the effect of, "This scared the shit out of me, and I think you should probably delete your channel," I'd like to think that coffee was responsible for that in some way. And while this delicious black liquid might occasionally lead me astray when it comes to triggering your ASMR, I would like to believe that the good outweighs the bad. And that coffee has been responsible for some of the most successful moments on my tiny little channel. So, I mean, it is what it is, right, guys? I'm not a perfect person. I have needs. I have grudges in life. And this is one of my worst ones. But my God, is it delicious. Every morning when I wake up on a weekday and go to my job, and it's just a little too early, and all the birds are chirping and being annoying, the coffee is what keeps me from strangling the nearest person that I can find. I love it. Okay. I'm gonna set that aside. Other random objects from my environment that I think bear mentioning. Okay. Let me see if that'll focus properly. There we go. It's made by hand. Now, This is a candle, and you probably read that it said headache relief on the front. I have found that this doesn't even come close to relieving a headache. In fact, I would argue that it makes headaches worse. This thing smells like ass, and my wife bought it. I'm not entirely convinced that she likes it either. I think she regrets her purchase. But I still really like this thing because it makes fantastic lid unscrewing sounds. I have used this tiny little candle as the source of so many of the different wacky little sounds that show up in my soundscapes. Sorry, I just got distracted by what seems to be I think it might be an ant or something. I have to clean up in here. I think I might have some food garbage. It attracts ants. I'll give you $10 in Monopoly money if you can identify that reference. I was gonna say something, but I lost it. I'm tired, I'm sorry. Just to go back to doing this. Oh shit. Sorry. I can't get enough of that particular sound. It triggers me like crazy. I don't often get triggered by sounds that occur in real life. I usually only get triggered by pre-recorded sounds. So this is one of the few things that I think might actually trigger me in real life. I was getting a little bit of tingle action there. Not a lot, but okay. This next thing, this probably will be hard for my camera to focus. Oh, wait, there we go. As you can see, this is a little box for my Klipsch headphones, or earbuds, rather. So, these earbuds, they were not cheap, but like anything in the world of electronics, you get what you pay for. And these have lasted me for going on 4 years now, I want to say. It's actually got this, it's kind of gross, but there's a little stick that they include in here for replacement inserts also, and basically you just have to play around with them until you find one that's the right fit. Again, they are Klipsch brand. I believe I purchased them at Best Buy because Best Buy has been representing the Klipsch brand for quite a long time. And I love these things. I can't really speak to the quality of Klipsch earbuds now, but 4 years ago they were pretty alright. So I really like the way that this particular container resonates when you tap on it. It's very, very pleasant, very enjoyable. I'm actually kind of triggering myself by doing that. So I guess that's kind of another thing that I can actually get triggered by in real life as opposed to watching a recording. Okay, here's another random thing. I've had this sitting around on my table for a while. I told myself that I was going to start painting at some point. And that was like right around the time that I started this channel, which was like several months ago. So clearly I have failed in my mission to become a fine artist. But on the bright side, I did get a few implements that I think make cool sounds, and thankfully also my wife has co-opted the painting stuff that I purchased and is doing some things with it that are far more interesting than what I would have ended up painting. The inside of this lid, by the way, if you didn't catch it, this is a brush cleaner for smaller paintbrushes that you would use to create paintings with. And as you can see, on the bottom there's like a grate that you it's almost like an instrument. I should probably make a soundscape with that sound sometime. Anyway, you can clean your brush off at the bottom of this thing, and all of the detritus floats to the bottom, and then the clean water stays at the top, so it's pretty cool. This also makes very nice lid unscrewing sounds. right when the lid comes off. And it almost sounds like it's alive or something. It makes almost like a vowel sound, you know, like it's talking. I really like that. It actually triggers my ASMR pretty intensely when I hear it through a recording. It doesn't really trigger me right now in real life though, but you guys can let me know if it triggers you. It's got a nice plastic lid on it. Good old standby for triggering through tapping. So yeah, that's my little paintbrush cleaner. Okay. Here's another random thing. This is a Western Digital. See if I can get out. There we go. You can see it in the reflection. It's a Western Digital external hard drive. And I probably have, and if you're a extreme computer enthusiast, you might understand where I'm coming from on this. I have probably 10 of these laying around that I've purchased over the years. Not all of them are Western Digital, but many of them are. And these things that I own anyway range anywhere from, 60 or 70 gigabytes to like 1 or 2 terabytes. And they're good to have around. I've noticed mostly for transferring files between computers. And the reason I do that a lot is because when I'm working on my Soundscapes, I transfer the files between my laptop and my desktop computer, depending on where I'm working. Sometimes on the weekends, I like to take my laptop. I have a MacBook Air that I take to my local coffee shop, and I work on my Soundscapes kind of outside of my studio for a while, which gives me quite a nice break from these four walls that I see so much of on my spare time when I'm creating ASMR content. I like the way I like plastic flexing sounds, if that makes sense. Like when you rub your finger across a piece of hard plastic. I find that triggers my ASMR in other people's videos, and maybe it will trigger your ASMR as well. I keep bumping into my pop shield here, so I apologize if that's loud. I will go back over the video and make sure to watching the video, and I hope that my plans for the future of these soundscapes are appealing to anyone who might watch and or listen to them. I will be building my visual effects computer probably, I'm guessing next week. I'll have all the parts in for it from Newegg, and then the slow and careful assembly will begin. I've only built one computer before, so I'm not exactly an expert, and I hope that I don't screw anything up. But I've got a few good internet guides to help me along the way, and I hope that the resulting things that I'll be producing will catapult my ASMR content into the next level of quality, and that all of you can benefit with even more tingles and relaxation and anxiety reduction and panic reduction and less depression and all that good stuff that is at the heart of why I do this. So, thanks again for watching, everybody, and I hope you have a peaceful, pleasant, positive, and restful night or day. I guess if it's daytime, maybe don't do too much resting, but when the nighttime comes by, definitely put this video back on, and then get your rest on.